Let me ask you a question. Earlier, David, you talked about straight talk on the economy, that this now is the time to have that straight talk that is crucial. Do you expect Hillary Clinton to be the one to start that? I mean, you certainly can't expect, or do you expect Barack Obama to take a stab at that on Thursday when you're trying to also pay homage to Martin Luther King on that big day? That could be awkward, no?
Sure. No, look, I do think she's very capable of straight talk, and that's what's needed tonight from the Democrats. And because she was there in the Clinton years. She was right at the side of her husband throughout that, and so she can make the comparison that Bill Clinton so clearly wants to make tomorrow night of the economic performance of the Clinton years versus the economic performance of the Bush years, and say, look, which one do you want in the future? Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go down the path my husband and I were going, and we can renew that path, or do you want to go down this other path that the Republicans are going down? This convention ultimately is about presenting to the American people a choice. And the Republicans, of course, will reframe that choice in their own way, as they should. But this is their opportunity for the Democrats to make their clearest statement as a unified party about what the future would be under a Democratic rule as opposed to Republican rule. And that, I think, she has enormous credibility on. She can bring both passion and credibility to that task. And that's why I think this is a very, very pivotal speech. As I say, I think it's the second most important speech in the convention, second only to the Obama acceptance address.
Every word she says, people will be going through with a fine-tooth comb. David Gergen and Marie Wilson, thanks to both of you for analysis. We've got much more convention coverage coming up in about 15 minutes from the CNN Election Center in New York. I'm Soledad O'Brien. Back to Atlanta and CNN Newsroom because we're covering
the things she cared about, fighting for access to health care, getting out of the war in Iraq. You have no chance of that with John McCain as president. The only way we can keep fighting for the things that she's been fighting for is by electing Barack Obama and Joe Biden. And so I think she's going to lay out the stakes. I think she's going to make that choice very clear. And I think there's going to be no confusion at the end of this night and at the end of this convention that we are a unified party and that she is fully committed to this ticket.
People have been talking about, obviously, it's the economy, it's the economy, it's the economy. And some have said, listen, it's time to call for some blunt talk. You look at Mark Warner, who's the keynoter here, who's really teed up to deliver, and he's also in a very tough spot. But before you answer that, I'm being told that Hillary Clinton has now come out to do her walkthrough. And they are, of course, as we have seen in the past day, when Michelle Obama came out also to check out the podium. She's there with her daughter, Chelsea Clinton, and sort of surveying and seeing the 20,000 some odd seats, what will be full of people tonight, as she delivers what David Gergen has called really probably, maybe the #2 speech in terms of absolute importance. And she's got a whole list of things that she's got to accomplish, namely reach out emotionally to those 18 million people who supported her, and also tell them now to go support Barack Obama and take a few jabs at Senator John McCain and so on and so on and so on. It could be a tightrope walking act. And also I think some of these, it's less of a sight survey of the podium, Alex, than a photo op, a chance to wave to people, because she doesn't look like she's checking out the podium. She's been in front of a lot of podiums. She doesn't need to see the lighting on the podium and make sure the prompter is working. She's there waving to some of her supporters as well.
But she doesn't have to say tonight that she made a mistake. She has to acknowledge the elephant in the room, and that is that she said, hey, in the heat of primaries we say things, I just want you to know, gosh, I wish I hadn't said that. That's what 41 George Bush said about when he was challenged about calling Ronald Reagan's economics voodoo economics. You can laugh at it, you can acknowledge it, but you have to bring it up and do something with it, or else you never get over that hurdle.
Blooding the waters is what people have said, and that, at the same time you hear on the other side, no, the theme really should be bringing people together. Well, those are completely, contradictory themes. I mean, either you're going to take a stab at somebody or you're going to go across the aisle. What should the strategy be?
Look, I think talking about Barack Obama's ability to bring people together is important to do. I think you're going to hear that same theme coming out of Mark Warner's speech tonight. Another Democrat, some say another rising star in the party who has a real track record of bridging the gap and reaching across the aisle and working with folks on the other side to actually get results. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't real differences with the other side, and drawing those contrasts is part of what you do in a campaign. It's an important way to help people make up their minds. But, the difference between someone like Barack Obama or Mark Warner and someone like John McCain and a lot of the Republicans on the ticket this year is that the Democrats actually have a record of doing it, whereas the Republicans have been much more interested in the same old partisan bickering, the ideological divide that's divided us for too long, and it's time for something different.
The economy and Mark Warner is what we were talking about right before Hillary Clinton came out. And you're just looking at live pictures there. She's come out and, you know, checking out the podium, but really waving to folks. And, you know, she's got a ton of supporters there, and they are going to be excited and energized to see her. And as Hillary Rosen, Clinton supporter, was telling me earlier, she said this is going to be the most parsed over speech in the history of mankind, possibly, as everyone looks for the moments where she laughed and what she looked like and the actual words she said and the moments she took a break and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.